All right, new day. Yesterday we got the motors pulled out of the Explorer and Forrest, the Gray Ranger here. Today I'm starting out with a couple sketchy things. I wanted to move the brown truck back a little bit here, so what I've done, I've hooked the winch up to the front, Forrest winch up to the back of it, and I'm just pulling it back. I want to get it back here on this slab that I have out in front of the barn. But in the process, yeah, I'm doing it on jack stand. What could be safer, right? Anyway, so I started doing this, and it's a morning of doing sketchy shit. So that's what we're doing. So let me get you guys set up, and you can watch, and let's see if I screw up. Do I recommend this? Absolutely not. And as you can tell by me putting my hand on it, I am definitely holding it in place, and that is what's making this a safe thing to do. So I'm doing it so I can actually feel if I think this is coming off the jack stand. Not the safest thing I've done, but sometimes you gotta do sketchy shit when you're by yourself. And today I'm by myself. Well, that was relatively painless thus far. So, but I got this thing moved back a little ways. My tractor's broke. It's not broke, just has a flat tire, and I'm too cheap to buy a good used tire for it. So that was my fix for getting this thing put back on the slab and pulled back so we have better access. It's just the start of our morning. We like to get the blood flowing in the mornings. So sometimes you gotta do sketchy shit to do it and get the blood flowing. So, but today I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start prepping the Explorer motor that's going into the gray truck. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm prepping it, getting all the brackets and stuff changed. I might this afternoon get her set in, and we'll see. But I'm just kind of plugging today, so just keeping going. Every little bit helps me get to my goal, which is get Forrest running again. Alright, so I'm sitting down here and prepping this motor. It's a 98 Ford Explorer motor. It's a 302, 5 liter, whatever you want to call it. Couple things I'm going to show you real quick on this one. The reason everybody goes after the Explorer motors, I guess, from what I've read and researched and heard and blah blah blah, is the GT40Ps, or GT40s and GT40P heads. You can tell the difference between the two. There's a couple different indications that I'm aware of. One is the casting on the side, of course. You have a 3-bar, which is a GT40, and a 4-bar, which is a GT40P. This motor happens to have the 4-bar heads, which are supposedly sought after. Most of the ones I get, and currently have 3 of these motors around here, and 2 351s, there is nothing for shit when it comes to headers. And the headers that come on them, they're small, they feel like choke down. They're not very desirable, but the heads are. But the aftermarket support for headers seems to be pretty crappy. Or through the roof, I should say. I've always just used the stock ones just because I'm a cheap bastard. I like to say frugal. My wife says cheap bastard, but I'm cleaning this motor up. So what I do is I have an old vacuum, just a little 1-horse vacuum I use, and I grab a pick, and you could just go in here and spray all this off and hose it down. It'll probably be just fine. This is just something I've started doing years ago. I always grab my vacuum, I take a pick, and I go around and I kind of clean all the little nooks and crannies the best I can around the spark plugs, all that stuff, because you never know what kind of debris got in there before you really start tearing it apart. Once I get all that squared away, I'll probably come back in and put some kind of chemical cleaner on it and then spray it off, and I'm just going to plug and play this bad boy back into that truck. The motor mounts have to change. I have to put the oil filter relocator kit on. And a few other little things here and there. I can't remember if I have to change the oil pan or not. I have the oil pan off the older motor, but looking at them, I'll have to look at them a little closer, but they look like it'll fit if I remember right. But I might have to change the oil pump and oil filter to that other pan, which it's not a big deal. Everything else is good to go for the most part. This was a good running motor. As you guys seen in one of my videos, mud drags, it's the same motor we used in that one. In our stock Explorer with the crappy tires, or the tires that were too big on the wheels with the wrong spacing that rubbed in all 4 corners. Yeah, you can go back and look at that video. So, yeah, I think that's about all I really have to say right now, but I'm going to go back to work and vacuum and clean. I don't know if this is something. I don't know if this is something you really want to watch with me vacuum, but I'll show you when I get it wrapped up here how much cleaner it looks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference between a set of 3-bar heads and 4-bar heads. The 3-bar heads, again, are the GT40s. The 4-bar heads are the GT40Ps. Now, these are a 3-bar head. Right here. Get the light on there for you. And you can see there's 3 bars. 1, 2, 3. There's also a casting up here. It's hard to do for you. Of a GT. That's the GT heads. The ones back here, put my stuff in. The ones that we just pulled out are the GT40P heads. Now, the exact difference, I don't know. The P's are supposed to be slightly better than the GTs. I don't know. These ones here, get you set up. Alright. You can see there's a casting number P right there. You can also see there's another set down here, right there on that bolt, GTP, and again you have the 4-bar indicators, casting marks on the front of those motors. You can really see them in the back here where it's a little cleaner. But so those are the difference. again, like I said earlier, the header support on these is ridiculous, and they're overpriced. I mean, it's a piece of tube, some bending. In my opinion, maybe people think paying $700-800 for a set of headers is not a big deal, but again, I'm a cheap bastard. I'm frugal. Hence the reason my tractor doesn't have a tire on it, because I'm cheap, frugal. I don't know. Anyway, so that's where we're at. We're going to continue on. Do you ever have those days where you should just go back to bed? Well, I think I'm starting. So, draining the oil out of that motor because I didn't do it when it was in the truck. Had it all nice and neat. Thought to myself, hey, move that pan. Did I move that pan? No, I didn't move that pan. Why would I move that pan? Anyway, so as I was taking the torque converter off for the Explorer to switch it out with the C6 one that I'm putting on, I didn't quite have a good enough hold on it. And it barely, when it came down, it barely caught the edge of my oil pan. Good grief, I swear. The famous words of Charlie Brown. Good grief. So I made a mess. So, have a mess up there, have a mess over there, have a mess right here, have a mess in front of the other one. I guess the moral of the story, you're going to make a mess. So, why even bother not making a mess? Just make the mess. It'll probably be smaller than the mess you're trying to prevent making. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Clean up time. You know, when in doubt, add more work to what it is you're doing. And wander around in the dark here for a minute. But so yeah, good stuff. I know I'm not the first. It's not the first time I've done it, but all right. Now I got to clean up, get kitty litter and all that good stuff, and clean it up. So that's where we're at. I figured, what a better time to turn on the camera than right after you make a mess. So, serenity now. Okay, so now I've taken a minute. Figured, hey, you know what? I'm batting 50-50, which isn't too bad for me. Started out by doing sketching, winching the truck back with a truck on jack stands. That was successful, which is better than the mess I just made. So, a little coffee real quick, regroup. We're going to get back to prepping this motor. We got shit to do. That's all there is to it. So, I guess the moral of that story is just keep going. Hell with it. Why not? So, that's where we're at. We're going to start doing that next. All the energy's coming back to me now. Thank God for mocha or coffee. Yeah. Alright, so I've taken a minute here and reevaluated my situation, which is I started out with sketching. Pulled that off. That's a win. Went to get that torque converter off with that pan full of oil that I just drained out of that motor underneath it. A third of a second before that, I'm like, I should move that pan. Didn't pull that off. That was unsuccessful. So, I'm batting 50-50. Sketchy's a win. The pan, that sucks. That's just a mess. But, batting 750 because I'm not hurt. So, I got a little cup of coffee. I'm going to reevaluate my stuff there. And the moral of the story is just keep pushing through because shit, nobody else is going to do it. So we're on to getting this motor prepped, putting all the stuff back on it now. I don't know how much filming I'm going to do. Today's kind of turn the music on. I might do a little filming in the background type of thing, get this motor prepped. I do want to get it set in there today. We'll see if I get that far. But coffee makes everything better. Okay, so in getting this motor prepped up, I got a couple things on this front corner. This is going to be the driver's side front corner. So when you're setting up your 302 for your Ranger swap like I'm doing, you got to make sure that you want to, if you're going to change this oil pressure sending unit to a digital or an aftermarket one, it's best to get it set up right now because this is a pain in the ass to get to. The other thing is this is where your oil filter normally goes, and it's got this big agglomeration of shit that goes right here. Well, we're putting on a relocation kit. So to do that, you got to pull this piece here out, and I got a socket that just loosely fits on there, and that'll pop, just barely pop it. Pull this out, because this is what receives your bolt. Your kit should come with an adapter that goes in there. Mine, I have it all set up, so I'm pulling this one out. So, pull that out, do that. I've taken a little bit of grease, or excuse me, oil, and pre-lubed my ring. I have an O-ring on here, so I put a little bit of oil on that O-ring. You can see that we got a little bit of residual coming out. Keep a rag handy. Do that. All right. I want to take this now. I want to make sure that this is the best time right now to set all this up. Make sure these are tight. Apparently mine are loose for some reason. I can't answer why. Maybe thought we'd take it out or something, but so get these in and make sure that you take a note on which way you want those to point. I want mine to point slightly forward like such. So you might have to do this a time or two to get them to sit there. You're going to see that they're probably going to hit, and I'll have to take them out. And that was why they were loose. I remember now. It's only been a day. So pull these out. And this thing can be kind of a pain in the ass to set up. I'm not going to BS you and tell you it's not. I'll spin this on. And it doesn't have to be super duper tight. I mean, it's just like an oil filter. See, now mine are pointed this way, so I'll have to back it off and start threading it a little bit different. Make note where you're at when you start threading. Okay, so we're right here about. Let's turn it 90 degrees. And you can see it starts threading again. So hopefully that will put us in a different location. There we go. It's only being difficult because you guys are watching me. Yeah, I have a camera in front of me here, so. Oh, come on. Look at that. See there? This is why I don't film stuff. Alright, see. Alright, a lot better. We'll take my channel locks and I'll give her just a little bit of a turn. And I want those pointing like that. Now I'm going to go to this and get the sending unit out of the way. And I'm going to change it with my adapter pieces that I have built to make that a digital gauge because I think they're cool. Alright, so I haven't pulled that out yet, but this is my adapter piece. I got some couplers, and this is going through my drawer. And what this does is this now screws in here and extends this out. And they make a piece you can buy. Again, that frugalness that I am. I'll screw that in. This I want to sit with the hole. I don't know if you can see it or not. With the hole outwards like this, so that my new sensor will sit on top of it here. So again, when you put this in, note your positioning of where your sensor is going to go. Okay, once again, get yourself a socket that fits over there, and it doesn't have to be super perfect. I mean, it shouldn't be in there so tight that you're putting a torque wrench or anything like that on it. And slowly work this out. Sometimes it might be easier to do this before this, but today's one of those days where I'm not doing it easy. So we're going to pull that out. And there we go. And again, you might have a little residual that comes out. Get those two pieces there. Set your stuff out the way. Alright. And if you're vacuuming, this would be a good time to maybe get up underneath there and clean that out. I'm going to wipe that off. Alright. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we're going to Teflon tape this up, insert it. We're going to Teflon tape these, insert those, get everything snugged up. Now the odds are I'll probably put the Teflon tape on backwards because you guys are watching me. But I always hated that. I did it right this time. What are the odds this socket that I have is going to fit? Well, look at me go. So what I'm doing now is making sure I get my hole for my sensor in the right spot. It's right there. I want it about there. There we go. Perfect. Now, we'll clean the Teflon tape off of these, get these cleaned up, and we'll insert it to here. You guys see it. Actually, those come up. That'll work just like so. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing, because it's my camera viewfinder's on the wrong side of me right now, so I'm having trouble seeing. If you can see what I'm seeing, I know that you know that I know that you know that I'm probably gonna deck this up at least once and go backwards with my Teflon tape. So, but I don't care. Just throw that in there. Right one. Let's clean this one up. Right off there. Alright. And you can see that when I put my lines on, they're going to be coming in right here. Now I might turn it a little bit, and there might be some adjustments right here on your relocation mount. Once you get it in, depending on how your lines ran, where your oil filter's sitting, and all that good jazz. So we're going to start right there because I know that I can get access into them right here. I do have power steering pump right here that I have to think ahead on. And so I think they might have to actually come up a little bit more, or if I'm not mistaken. You can put them right here, but I didn't on this particular application, and I don't remember why. But so I went here. And I don't remember. Alright, there we go. We'll put the motor mounts on here next on both sides, add the torque converter, and I don't know if there's anything else I need to do to this motor. I'm going to try it with the oil pan in it and see if it'll clear or not. I've been wanting to know if these will work or not. There's a good chance I'll have to pull it back out. Okay, so I've got the relocator kit on. I've got the sensor on. They're both snugged up, Teflon taped on there. I'm going to snug it up. I'm going to add my motor mount to this side. And I can't remember if I have to change, if you absolutely have to change the oil pan. In fact, I think you do. I think I have to on mine because of the way the exhaust is. So I'll probably have to do that. I'll have to jack it up and change my oil pan to a smaller double pump sump, whatever the hell they're called. I'll probably just do it and be done with it and stick the bad boy in. Yeah, so it's kind of a dumb deal there. I didn't notice that. The water pump's been off. You'll see stuff. Okay, so I've added my gauge for my oil pressure. It's this go-go gadget here. This is for digital gauge. You got to hook it up some wires and stuff like that. I know I have to change out. I had to look at my old motor. I got my water temperature gauge. I got to change it out up on top, which is up here. This one has two actually. This one and this one. This one here. I'll pull the one that's out of my old motor there. And oh no, that's a jack goes in there. I don't know. I'll have to look. It'll all come back together once I get doing it. So, still kind of annoyed about that oil spill in the back. I got towels soaking up right now. I don't feel like going back there and cleaning it quite yet. I just do some old towels down there. Make sure to go check your raid your wife's linen closet for old rags. Yeah, they love that. Come in back and, hey, where's that sheet? I don't know. They throw away my favorite clothes, the ones with the holes in it, so turnaround's fair play, right? Anyway, so yeah, I hope she doesn't watch this one. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we got the pan off, torque converter's on, mounted up, it's good to go. We have the pan off now. Put some stuff there. So we got the torque converter mounted. I decided to go ahead and just switch the pan. I was looking at it size-wise. I paid for the damn thing. It's a new one. I'm sticking it on. So the oil pump in that one's brand new too. So I like to change the oil pumps. Almost every motor's good. Everything's running, compression, all that good stuff. Oil pumps, I always change. I just do. It's a pain in the ass to not. If it goes out, I've lost a few motors over the years because I didn't do it. One of these days I'll learn. But anyway, I changed the oil pump. This is a brand new oil pump that's going to go in it. And this is where we're at. So I'm just letting her drip right now. I did it with a minimal amount of mess. The oil pan was really well gooped on. Took me a little bit to get it off, but I got her off, and there's the bottom end. I don't see nothing jumping out at me. I'll have to get a flashlight here. But there's the bottom of your 5-liter. I'll do some looking here in a minute. I'll get a light and look, and if something jumps out at me, if I see something that jumps out at me, I'll let you guys know. But right now, everything looks good on the initial inspection. I like it. I'm excited to get one of my trucks back on the road, and the brown truck's so far out that I elected to take a break from it and do a motor swap on the gray truck. So maybe I'll have it for an upcoming trip down to LB, which is we're going to try and plan here for a couple weekends. So that's where we're at. Yep, it's always where we're at, doing stuff. But moving forward with it.